Hi, everyone. I'm bringing on Hildie Dunn, Hildie Dunn, excuse me, from the Handel Group here in just a second. Really excited to have her. So thanks for joining me today.
Hi.
Hello, Hildie. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure.
So this is Hildie Dunn, and you are in New York right now. Is that correct?
I'm in New Jersey, but
New Jersey. Oh, so close. How's everyone doing up there right now?
it's the we're close to the epicenter. So there's a lot of emotion and,
Friends and family are okay?
family are fine. And so friends have definitely, I've seen a lot of loss.
So sorry.
I'm
so sorry. Well, I like to touch base. I know it's a very sensitive time, and that's actually why we're talking today. Obviously, Hildie Dunn here from the Handel Group, executive life coach. And I really want to give you the opportunity to kind of talk about your experiences before and during this crisis and epidemic. So tell us a little bit about your background and your history as an executive coach and a life coach.
So I actually am I do a lot of work with individuals, and then I do group work. So my background, I was a dean at a college. And so I worked with colleges. I did a lot of academic advising. I was a freshman advisor, so I did a lot of that work, but there was still a piece missing that was like getting people to understand where they're stuck.
Yes.
And that was the problem. And so getting people to think about it in terms of what do they want, where are they stuck, and then what's there to do about that. That combination really gets people to have results.
Yes. There are so many people watching today that run their own businesses and are high C-suite executives, but maybe haven't taken the step of hiring a life coach. They're kind of unfamiliar with that space or why there's a need for it. And today we're going to be speaking to coping with and growing through COVID-19 and how to kind of optimize opportunities in our personal life and professional life during this time of crisis. But I think it's really important for people to understand what a life coach is and what you do to help us get out of those stuck points.
So what I work for the Handel Group, which we have our own method. So there is a method which I like because coming from higher ed, coming from that world, I like grounding into a method. I like that all of us are actually teaching the same method, but with our own little flavor or style or, flair, personality flair.
This is a system developed by Lauren Zander, correct? At the Handel Group?
Yes, Lauren Zander, she created this method, which for me was the game changer. So it actually came as a client because I was stuck. I got at a space in my life, I had gotten divorced. I was trying to figure out where to go next. And I actually went to the doctor's office and, they give you the forms to fill out. And the form was like, hobbies. And I'm like, okay, hobby, den leader. Oh no, that's not a hobby. That's like, oh, CCD teacher, religion teacher. That's not a hobby either. Oh, watching soccer that's not a hobby either. Until I began to understand that I had totally lost what my purpose was and what my visions were and, what I'm going to call my dreams were in the key areas of my life. And then when you don't have that focal point or that vision, you end up like wandering around like a little squirrel going from thing to thing to thing to thing, right? And squirrels are great for some reason. Like there's a lot of opportunities of planted trees, but you really miss your golden opportunities for doing what matters most in your life.
Yeah, I think so many people can relate to that. I know personally myself, coming into the fall and winter, I really felt like I was personally stuck on like a hamster wheel. Same things repetitively, no forward progress. I had purpose, but I was having trouble actualizing those steps. So I think a lot of people can relate to that, being at that point in their life where they're just looking for the transition or the catalyst that will kind of propel them into their future or take them from their headspace into the real life. So
yes, it's a combination. Like, so if we just stay in our headspace, you need to be able to dream. So that vision, what you call it, manifesting, whatever you want to call it, like there's an important component to that. But that's one component. And left by itself, you're dreaming and scheming and dreaming and scheming and really going nowhere, right? And then there's a part of you that really has to understand what's driving your actions. And so we teach people that your thoughts actually drive your actions. And most of us are not aware of our thoughts. We think we are, but either we get amnesia to them, or we only get part of them, or we believe them to be like the God's honest, altogether truth without questioning them. But if you sit in your thoughts and your thoughts and your thoughts all the time, that's perseverating on something without actually then dealing with it. And then the third piece are people that just take actions, like the doers. Like I was the busy bee, right? When I came to coaching, I had 3 jobs, 3 kids, 2 dogs, right? They're like, oh my God, right? But action without understanding why you're taking the action, and without having that action really being driven to be in service of a dream, you're missing out on that full opportunity to put all those pieces together to make the difference that you really need.
Absolutely. Gaining the focus behind the mission and the why as you take those action steps to accomplish goals. So right now, I mean, obviously you're still seeing clients, correct?
Yes.
How often do you, yeah, they're calling you nonstop. They're like, we need you, Hildie. Yes. So as you're meeting with clients, how are they transitioning and coping mentally and emotionally with this transitional time? Because a lot of what we do for success personally and professionally is geared around habits and, you know, taking those action steps. So everything's kind of shifting right now. How are people coping?
Yeah. So that's exactly right. So most of us pretend that we don't like structure, but like we got this little voice in our head that's a little brat that's like, I don't want it. I should do it this. I should be able to do it this way. You know, blah. Like we throw these little hissy fits. But the truth is, anybody that has children or has been around a little child knows, take them out of a structure and it turns into a disaster, right? Like, so structure is really important. And so what happens is, you know, for some people, yes, you got to build structure in. And for other people, this time with all that's going on, their structure's changed. Absolutely. And then usually we come from the construct of, in the beginning, like, okay, this will be for a little while, like, and the little memes about my daytime pajamas, my nighttime pajamas, like, it's, right? It's like funny for a while, yeah, but what happened for a week or two, right? And then we really miss the routine and the structure. And so what I'm finding now are my clients are like, the game is over, right? And now they're seeing the reality of it. They're also understanding, they're feeling out of what I'm going to call personal integrity, because they're not really doing what they say and doing what matters most to them. And so, and then they're like, oh, we'll wait till this over, and then I'll go back to doing my routine. And I'm like, that's bad. It's a bad idea. I don't go for that. Like, we need to build the structure in for now, because, you know, if you're just waiting and waiting and waiting for this to be over to get back to being happy, you're missing an entire chunk of time. Like, our heartbeats matter, every day matter. So what I'm having my clients now do is stop and think and get in a clear structure or plan for themselves, so that they are building a routine. And then they're also building the opportunity to do what they say they're going to do, because there is pride and relief that comes in doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, from a personal perspective, I think right now is kind of a very unique opportunity where we have the time to kind of be self-reflective and refocus and reprioritize what direction really matters most. You know, when you put everything under a big lens right now and get down to the microscopics of where we are, what we're doing, and why we're doing it, like you speak to, you know, how can we optimize this opportunity in this time to create those new habits? Like, what advice are you giving clients as far as how to really make the most of this time?
So what I'm having my clients do, so part of what we do is we have people actually articulate the dream, write down in the written word, like, what is your dream? How do you want to feel it, live in it, be in it a year from now, written in the present tense. So not like I will be, right? Because the arm's distance of that.
It's so I am versus
I am. Like, I am a powerful leader. I'm a life coach. I'm on a mission to, I'm a healer on my mission, right? Or I'm a leader in my family, or whatever the dream is, but one actually articulating it. Mm-hmm. And so when we have clients come to work with us, that's the first thing we have them do is we take your life, we divide it into 12 areas, and we have you begin to write your dream for each of those areas. And then if you're anything like me, I'm like, wait, some areas I didn't even realize were areas. Like,
I know, I'm like 12 areas. So
it's like time and money and career and relationships and relationship to self. So some are more obvious. Yeah. Community, but then, fun and adventure. I'm like, fun and adventure, that's an area? I thought that was something you got as a bonus, like just a residual after something, versus understanding, no, I actually have to design and plan and author that just the way I do the other areas of my life.
That's brilliant. I wouldn't have even thought of that. You're right. It's kind of an afterthought, but you're taking the whole life into focus and view as far as all of the different areas of how we live.
Yeah. And then look, we have some areas that we're great at. And each of us are great at different areas. So the areas that you're great at, when you write that dream, it's satisfying to go, I got that. I'm doing that. Yay, go me. Right? Which points to the areas that you are doing well, but it gives you the opportunity to begin to evaluate yourself in the areas that you're not succeeding at, or you're not so highly rated at, to go, let me think about what I really want. Because if you don't put it in the GPS, if you don't put it in the Waze, it's like we lost the vision as to where we're going. And then we can't hold everything up to it and say, is that in service of the dream? Right? Because then you go, are those thoughts that I'm thinking, let me notice my thoughts, right? Especially during this time, we're filled with fear and the thoughts run crazy. So let me stop and listen to that thought. Is that thought in service of the dream? And if it's not, then my vote is like, we've got to change the thought. Yeah. Is that action? Is eating that cookie at 10 o'clock in the morning, is that in service of the dream of like living in a healthy body that you're feel proud of, and that's in serving you and your interaction with the world? No. Well, then I'm not going to eat the cookie. But otherwise, your inner dialogue is like, it's only a couple more weeks. We'll wait till this is over, then I'll deal with it. Nobody's seeing me anyway. I got those pajamas on. But it's those inner dialogue and those actions that really have to be aligned with the dream. So what we teach people is when they're lined across the dream, what you're thinking and what you're doing, that's what we call personal integrity. It's not morality. It's just lining up so that you are so you're doing what you care most about and you're doing what you say.
That's brilliant, actually, to be in full alignment with our actions, our thoughts, and our dreams. So how do we kind of address or speak to our inner dialogue right now? I'm personally a huge extrovert. I love being around people. So I'm embracing my newfound introvert, a lie that I'm telling myself every day to try to cope with this. But, right now we're really left alone with our thoughts quite frequently, more than we're typically used to. So how do we monitor that space and adjust our inner dialogue, kind of being patient with ourselves, but also holding ourselves to a higher standard and accountability? How do we address those internal thoughts?
Yeah. And there's a balance. So it's got to come from compassion, because if you're beating yourself up, as soon as we fill ourselves with shame or embarrassment or beating ourselves up, what happens? We want to hide that. And then what happens when we hide it? Things stay the same, right? And so we're actually just doing the same thing and wanting different results. So one, you have to have a sense of humor. And then, like we're all human, and there is no human that doesn't have their own little negative thoughts or personality traits or go back to their old way of doing something. So one, can you have a sense of humor about it? Because that will lighten you up. And then it allows you to look in the mirror a little bit more objectively without the beating around it. So one, sense of humor is critical. And then two, it's even noticing the thoughts, because if you're anything like me, there's a part of me that's like, la, 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 I don't want to hear it. Anything that is, I just put it away. So it's so interesting. A while ago, I went to this food store, and all of a sudden I'm walking down the aisle and I'm singing John Denver. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I don't even know like where that came from. And then all of a sudden I realized,
Tell me it was Roads.
Yeah, it was. And it was playing in the background. And then I'm like, oh, I don't even realize what I'm really thinking or what I'm hearing or taking in until it actually shows up in what I'm doing. So what I have my clients do is sit down in the morning and actually literally write out, what are you thinking? And in the beginning, when it's one of our tools in our method, which we have people actually write a thought log and then log the thoughts that they're thinking. And when I first got the assignment as a client before I became a coach, right, I was like, I got nothing. I don't have any thoughts, right? And I'm like, how can I have no thoughts? And then I like, oh, you really have to tune your ear to what you're hearing, because whatever we hear actually does drive our actions. Yeah. So it's like, I should have the cookie. It really doesn't matter, which will actually have you reach for the cookie. Or I am hungry when you're really not hungry. Will have you act in a certain way. So what I have my clients do, especially during these stressful times, is I have them write that negative thought down first thing in the morning. And so most of us go, oh, I don't want to think it. If I think it, I'm going to think it into existence. I should just avoid it. But the truth is, it's already in there and it's already having you act. So calling what it is and seeing it on paper now gives you the opportunity to step back, look at it a little objectively, and then hold it up to the dream. Is this in service of the dream? If it's not, okay, what do I do? How do I shift that thought? Is there an action to take? Is there a compassion I need to have for myself? Is there something, or what can I do to train my mind to think differently? And it's a training, by golly. Like, it is really a training. None of us go easily to this new way of thinking.
That's brilliant. I love the process that you put in place. So as people are at home, and obviously right now for many folks, the main objective is really just food, shelter, sustainability, and focusing on the priorities. But there are those of us who are going to utilize and capture this time for growth and kind of taking ourselves to the next level, whether it's personally or professionally. If someone's considering or thinking about hiring a life coach, what would you recommend they look for in a person to interact? Obviously, you have a vibrant personality and a lot going for you. What should people scope out when they're searching?
They really want somebody that balances the compassion with the ability to hold their dream. Sometimes being able to fight for their dream more than they're willing to fight for it themselves. So once I get my clients to write the dream, and I'm like, can you feel it? Is there emotion in it? Most of us want to give a goal. I'm going to reach so much, but I'm going to have such an amount of money by a certain amount of time. I'm going to lose 5 pounds by here. Like, the goal has no heart in it, which means it's very easy to sell out of it. But once I get you to write the dream, about I fuel myself with food that's healthy, organic, this is the body that houses my soul and I care for it. Whatever the dream is, once I get you to really write that so it's yours, right? Because each of us have our own dream and it really needs to be your dream, right? But once you do that, then you need to have a coach that's willing to fight for you and not believe your inner dialogue and not believe you're a brat or where you're scared, which is what we call your chicken. So we have we name these voices in your head like funny little names because it lightens it up, right? So rather than going fear, if you go, oh, that's the voice of your chicken, you're like, go, oh, that's right. I'm just afraid of reaching out to the person, but it doesn't have to mean that I don't do it, so, but getting people to really, getting a coach that's willing to fight for you and understand what your dream is, and then hold on for you and your dream, and what actions you take in service of that dream is the way to go.
That's
from
really,
my perspective.
Yeah. So someone to hold you accountable, and how do you specifically hold your clients accountable to their goals and their dreams?
Well, we have we have something called promises and consequences. So a promise is like what you say you will do, right? And then we have a management system set up to help you keep that, not only for yourself, like, one, I am a great accountability person, like you're going to account to me, but also we want to take the feeling bad out of it, right? So there is a consequence to any action in life. You eat a cookie a day, nothing right away, but sooner or later, can't button your pants, right? So, you can spend, I don't know, spend 1 week, 2 weeks, three, all of a sudden 3 months come and there goes the savings account. So sometimes the consequence is immediate. And if it's immediate, boy, oh boy, do we wake ourselves up. Like, we don't put our hand in the fire because you get burned immediately. I have celiac disease. I don't eat gluten. People say, oh my God, you have so much willpower. No, I don't have willpower. If I eat the gluten, I get sick. It just isn't what the consequence is immediate. But
so I won't mail you homemade bread as a thank you gift.
No. I will share it with my loved ones, but no for me. But gluten-free send. Right? All right. But so a consequence that's immediate, we feel and we hold ourselves to, and we got it. Most things in life, the consequence is not immediate.
No.
Right? It really isn't. So you can eat a cookie, like I said, or you can spend some money for a wide eye, or you can hang up on your mother, for a while, but then after a while, it impacts the relationship, right? And most humans don't get the connection between action and consequence because it isn't immediate. So what we teach our clients to do is to create an artificial consequence, a management system that they are going to put in for themselves, not a punishment. Us humans want to go right to making it a punishment, but a management system that can help that area or help another area.
That's smart. That's really smart.
And then the bonus is that if you say you're going to go to the gym and then you don't go to the gym, right? You can pay your consequence and be back in integrity, be back in having kept your word, because it's like an either or. Either I'm going to keep my promise or pay my consequence. So I hang up on my twin sister, I have to write her a love note. So you can see how a little love note that I mailed to her is in service of the dream called my relationship with her.
Yeah, I love that. It's like a direct consequence related to your actual specific goal. And then that has to kind of cleanse the mind of that nagging guilt of defeating your goal or your dream, being able to attack that immediately.
Absolutely. We teach our clients feeling bad is a diversion. One, what is it getting you? Don't bother. It's not good. Like, the point is just to be happy and proud. But instead of feeling bad, if you take out the feeling bad and you add in the consequence, now you're just back in integrity.
That's amazing.
And, there's a huge bonus called being happy and proud and inspired.
Absolutely.
So, and what we do is we have our clients actually, if you coach with us, we have an online digital program that also has a whole tool in there where you'll write your promises and your consequences and you account for them. And then I see how you do. And it's a great way to hold yourself accountable, because us humans do not do a good job holding ourselves accountable to ourselves. Me is like the worst of the bunch, right? But when you have this set up and you're actually accounting for it, one, it gives you a deeper sense of pride because you're like, look what I did. And then accounting to somebody else, right? Then accounting to somebody else is also the bonus, because we do better keeping our word to somebody else. And then as a coach, I can hear what's going on behind it. Like, is there a thought that's not in service of a dream? Are you thinking something that's not actually the truth? Like, what is it that's having you act? What thought is having you act that way, that then we could also deal with the thought?
Brilliant. Hildie, I'm so honored to have you here today. I mean, I think you've shared so much wisdom to help us kind of look at ourselves internally, mentally, and our actions so that we can really achieve great things right now. I truly believe that on the other side of this, we're going to be stronger and better together. And, I know a lot of people are losing friends and family, and it's a horribly traumatic time for a lot of people. So if someone's thinking about, reaching out to you and wanting your coaching services, what's the best way to reach you?
So either they could come to handelgroup.com, Handel group.com, or if they really want to look at our online digital program, which is Game Changer, you get these modules that Lauren will actually give you coaching sessions. You can listen to these modules and then do the work, and you'll have your own promise sheet that you could fill out. You go to inneryou.coach. Inneryou.coach. And then because they're your people, they can put a coupon in for living room chats, 75, and they will actually get the program for half off. So instead of $650, it's $325. It's theirs forever. So you can keep re-listening to the modules. When you get the dreams and you've figured out where you are, you can go back and start all over again. It gives you an opportunity to have one free coaching session with a coach. There's boot camps that you could join, so you get support along the way. There's a lot of opportunity for you to get support while you do the work yourself.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today. Is there anything else you'd like to leave us with?
I just want to leave you with one thought. We have got to lighten up. Like, even in our days during this stressful time, if you're anything like me, I'm like, okay, I shouldn't have any fun. Let me just let me just do the work and sit down and whatever. But the truth is, lightening up is going to impact the people around you, whether it's the people you live with, the people you talk on the phone with, the people you Zoom with. Like, the power that you have and the influence you have in your communities is powerful. And so I suggest that one of the promises that everybody puts in for themselves is to dance every day or listen to music something.
Were you reading my journal? That's literally, I committed to myself during this time to dance every day, just even if it's 5 minutes, something to just uplift.
Absolutely. See, we're peas in a pod, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
There's such a great synergy here. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me, Hildie. It really means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to everyone watching, and God bless and stay well.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I'm here if anybody needs anything.
Have a great day. Bye.
Okay. Bye.